Hi.
All right. And today we are going to be playing some Binding of Isaac. And as I alluded to in the various, going live now notices I sent out. Hold on, let me turn off the cursor and the screen capture here. Um, I have a bunch of mods enabled, and furthermore, I have. Where is it? I'll find it. I have somewhere up in the O's this mod enabled, number 74, which makes it so that only modded items will show up, provided it's working properly. So, Trey, you've played Isaac before. Do you have a favorite character? Because I'm not sure who I want to start as here today.
Honestly, I didn't get far into it enough to have really experimented much with any of the characters besides Isaac, and then I guess the dead baby once you get like an extra life, quote unquote, with him. So I don't know. Take your pick.
All right. Well, we will be. I don't know. Let's just hit the random button and hope we don't get the keeper.
Fingers crossed.
We get Samson. Okay. He's respectable.
Went back to bed. Not much hair left on his head. He ate a slice of Wonder Bread and went right back to bed.
Ooh, there is some.
Hey, that's I recognize that song.
There is some.
It's Regina Spektor.
Some latency going on right now. Oh goodness. What is this? The memory bank, random disk generator. That gives us floppy disks, okay. There is a lot of lag going on right now. I'm gonna hope that's just because of, like, the fog effect on this floor, and maybe it'll clear itself up. If not, I'll see about maybe disabling some of these mods and we can just play regular Isaac. But seriously, I mean, you'll see in a second, it's going quite slowly.
Yeah, I'm starting to notice it is a bit more of a drag than most of your playthroughs usually.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's just like this floor being temperamental, because that happens every now and again. What do the floppy
disks do?
So the floppy disks are added by one of the bigger mods I have installed called Apocrypha, I think, and it adds the floppy disks as a consumable like the cards or the pills, and they all have different effects, and what they do is randomized each playthrough. So I guess this item just gives us one whenever we get a full charge and use it.
The Rag Man.
Yeah, I will say that this lag is making the Rag Man considerably easier than he usually is. Is that cheating? I'll leave that up for you to decide.
Is he a quick boy usually?
Yeah, this particular version of him isn't too bad, but the normal one where he's throwing out like the bouncing heads is a problem. Anyway, how are you guys this weekend?
I'm pretty solid. Can't complain.
All right. Gonna be meeting up with people tomorrow.
Oh, that's cool.
Always an adventure.
What are you doing?
Not much.
Just hanging out?
Yeah.
Well, that's good too.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, nothing. Go on. If you were finishing your point.
I mean, you already know Yaren and Clinitaxis. I'll be meeting up with them in the city.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
The beer can, damage up, accuracy down. Interesting.
Beer. Root beer.
Hopefully this stops being so slow now.
I actually know how to make ginger beer.
Is it you take beer and you put some ginger in it?
No.
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 It's a fundamentally different thing.
Basically, what you do is you take a lot of boiling water and a sizable quantity of ground ginger, some molasses, some raw sugar, and various other sort of spices and things. You boil that for a while, then you let it, cool down to about blood temperature. Then you
Hmm.
put that into a large bowl with a barm, which is made from basically soaking yeast for a while, brewer's yeast. You pour that
Interesting.
in, you leave it over, you stir it up, you leave it overnight, and with a towel covering it, and then you immediately put it into a bottle and let it age, as it were, a sealed bottle for about like a week.
Okay. And there you have the weekly shapes and forms recipe, everybody.
One
Yeah.
of my friends actually was like really interested in making root beer for me because he's like he kind of enables my addiction in a sense. Like uh, for for my birthday, a gift for me was like specifically just like bottles of obscure root beers that you can't get like from regular stores or anything. So
Oh,
that was
fun.
super nice of him. Yeah,
Hey, if sorry
I like.
to interrupt for a second. I switched to full screen, and it seems to have taken care of at least most of the lag. But you guys will have to watch the chat for me if anybody pops in. Okay?
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
Is that all right?
that's
That's
fine
fine.
by me.
All right.
It's a
Cool.
weirdly quiet chat today.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I haven't seen anything.
I usually give a lot more notice than I did today, so I don't know if we're gonna get
Ah,
anybody.
fair.
We just got one. Manny's here.
Oh, hey, hello,
Oh, howdy.
Kantla. What is this
Yep.
item? The chronoscope of the world. Okay, I think I have an inkling as to what this does.
Zawarudo.
I think that might be exactly what
Hmm.
this is. Yep. Oh, you guys are gonna love this.
Veritas.
They have Zawardo? Really?
Just watch.
Oh no.
We're bracing ourselves. Time for
Yeah.
the JoJo references to fly.
Is the Binding of Isaac a JoJo reference?
Oh wow, you are able to freeze time and then put the exploders everywhere.
The
It is Zawardo.
exploders.
Except normally with that you would just punch people while they are stuck in time.
There is
Also, hello
actually.
Maya.
Hello, Maya. There actually is a separate mod that this is kind of funny, but adds Josuke from the one JoJo part as a playable character. But I don't have
Neat.
that turned on because it doesn't play very well with other mods. Which,
Yeah, I
to be fair, plenty of these probably don't play well with each other either. I just don't know yet because I haven't gotten to that part. We'll see as time
or
goes
The,
on.
the precarious waters of compatibility issues.
Yeah,
indeed.
I mean, like, my hope is that if, like, the game crashes or something, it'll at least be funny. You know?
Mhm.
For the lulz.
I do like this beer can item. I mean, the accuracy down really doesn't seem to be much of a deal at all. I do feel like we're going to get a lot of active items, like spacebar items, because I think that's what most the ones I have installed are, but that's just a guess. If it
So
turns...
the smaller ghosts are corporeal, but the larger ghost is not.
Oh, so how the haunt works... I got hit. How the haunt works is after you kill the little ghost, you then fight him. You should see it
I
in a second.
assumed as much. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we got the
Hmm.
halo. That's not a modded item at all. Maybe they ran out of stuff in the boss pool already.
Hmm.
I'm not complaining, though. It is a very good item.
Huh.
Indeed.
So is it shooting a laser at you or blood?
There is
Laser
no...
blood.
There is no difference between those two things in the Binding of Isaac. If
It's
it's... If it's blood, it's a munition of some kind.
yeah.
Same thing with tears.
Yeah. Indeed.
It is so weird hearing my own voice play back in this thing. You have no idea.
Oh yeah, no, I know, because I watch my I usually like at least skim the VODs when they go up to make sure that
Oh
they're
yeah.
like working okay. And I sound like just eh. I don't like my voice at all.
I like your voice.
I'm glad somebody
Your
does.
voice is a good voice.
I don't care for it. But, you know.
But yeah, it's weirder when it's like playing back while you're talking and it's a thing you just said like a certain amount of seconds before, and it's like
It's like, what?
It's like
The D2.0001. I've actually had this before and it's garbage. So I will not be keeping it. I can show off what it does though.
Oh, thank you, Maya.
What in the world?
Maya said we all sound lovely.
Oh, well, that's very nice of her.
Let's see. I feel like I've gotten pretty used to the sound of my own voice, not only because of just like music type stuff and doing this, but also from radio DJing.
Yeah, you have to announce stuff on that a lot.
Yeah.
I used to co-host a radio program with a friend occasionally, and yeah, you have to be more mindful of yourself in some ways.
A little bit.
A little. Like in my case, not swearing.
Yeah, I think.
Really, what's the point? What's the point if you just can't call everything and everyone a fuckstick?
Yeah, or
Incredible.
Or just, like having to modulate my volume more because you've noticed how loud I talk.
Oh yeah, me too. But speaking of unexpected swearing and volume spikes, so I was doing the dishes a bit before the stream, and like I imagine many people do, I like to listen to music while I do the dishes. So I put Gucci Mane's discography, at least what I own of it, on shuffle on Fubar.
Okay.
And one of the albums that's in there is a mixtape he did a long time ago for the Gangster Grills series. And I don't know if either of you are familiar with that, but yeah, like at 10,000 decibels while I'm washing my ceramic plates. And I'm sitting here like hoping I'm not going to get like a noise complaint filed against me at some point, because it was so much louder than the rest of the track. It was hilarious.
Oh god.
Yeah, I can't remember if I've specifically like run into that with stuff that I personally listen to, but like my sister listens to stuff from mixtapes and stuff every now and then, so I've heard that tag.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with that tag, and let me tell you, it is loud as hell.
The tag is always like 1,000 times louder than the actual song.
Really though.
That is where compression would help, you know?
Well, the idea behind a lot of those tapes is that they're made fairly quickly, so they don't usually pay for proper mastering.
Yeah, you don't even have to pay for proper mastering. You can just like go like, okay, here's some compression that takes 5 minutes, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but then you don't get Gangster Brazil in your ear at 8 million decibels.
Yeah, I just don't even know.
I can't remember if I've mentioned the fact that I thought that DJ Mustard's tag was originally... I originally thought it was Buzzard on the beat ho instead of Mustard on the beat. That's what it sounds like. I thought it was Buzzard, like a
like a bird.
Oh dear.
Instead of DJ Mustard, which is his name.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I understand.
Speaking of, like, whatever happened to that guy?
Oh, he's still doing stuff, I'm pretty
Data
sure.
defragmenter. Yeah. That should smooth things out a bit. I don't know what that did.
Oh, what I was saying is
Yeah, sorry, go on.
I just well separate a couple different things was um firstly, like, there are slight audio problems on my end, so occasionally people just their words will disappear, which is a bit like Mad Libs. Just, I have to imagine what you're saying. Well, actually, granted, I can figure it out pretty easily, but at the same time, sometimes it's like,
Well, doesn't Mad Libs work the other way around?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
This is like
I have to fill in the blanks. Um,
anti-Mad Libs.
yeah, but the other thing I was thinking is normally when I'm doing anything resembling dishes, I go into a kind of sort of highly aggressive flow state that is best compared if you ever see the show Shonen Maid, Chihiro doing dishes is me doing dishes.
Hmm.
Just that
Can
psychotic
we
look in my eye.
can we get a description of Shihiro doing dishes?
Chihiro oh, well, um with 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 a slightly demented degree of obsessive focus.
Okay. I think I can envision this in my mind's eye. You're scrubbing the plates down like you're trying to like skin an animal or something.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes, basically.
that's me too, because our sponges all suck. So you have to like be
Yeah.
really
It's like, it must be clean.
out damned spot and all that.
Yeah, it's like,
What is this?
I will not stand for half-assed cleaning.
Alistor's candle. What could this possibly do?
Yeah, this conversation is giving me war flashbacks to the times that I had to do dishes for 5 other people and myself in my original house. So yeah, not feeling it.
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry.
you don't want to know what our sink looks like.
Yeah.
So there's
You're
a
good.
reason I like that.
I have to do dishes
Yeah.
for 5 people total too. I got to do them for myself, my mom, and my 3 siblings. So I get where you're
Gotcha.
coming from.
Yeah.
With my family, it's only 3 other people, but it feels like 6. And granted, I am probably the biggest part of the problem, because in my own case, it's probably more like 3 people, just me alone. So everyone else
I feel
is
like
just
you got. I feel like you guys would relate to the problem that dishwashing like faces, where you're doing them and then your siblings or your family in general will just like bring stuff to the sink in addition to what you already have. And it's just like,
Yes.
I actually haven't had that happen just because I do the dishes like very late at night.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Isaac's skull. I know what this one does. I would prefer to stick with Dio magic. Getting a lot of space
What
bar.
the heck are those things?
What things?
Rolada.
We murdered them all, but
What did they look like?
they had weird leech heads that would fly off.
Oh, I forget what those guys are called, but yeah, they've been around since like the original Flash game. They're annoying, but you learn to deal with them. They fire out like a worm, and then some of them instead have a blood laser. I know the one.
Blood everywhere.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll fire a blood laser in both directions, and that's just, got to keep abreast of your situation.
Whenever there's like a combination of a word involving technology and blood, I immediately think of the Androids of Moo's album Blood Robots. Which is one of those post-punk albums that, like, nobody remembers, but is actually pretty good.
I'm a blood robot.
When you think about it, aren't we all blood robots?
I think that might be the point of the title
name,
of
right?
the
Yes.
album.
Because, like,
It's like people.
The brain, it's a computer kind of, and then the rest
kind of.
is. I get it.
Although this is from the
That being
70s,
said, I'm a
so
pretty
less computers, more
Hmm.
just robots, I guess.
I'm a pretty regular robot too, though.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Cuphead thinking emoji.
Rumination espresso.
Yes.
It's called rumination espresso. You got to get it right.
Yes. The
Rumination espresso emoji.
And I'm actually fighting a modded boss here. This guy, Junior Fetus, is a bit of an issue. Too many bombs.
Is that
That is
that
just
Dr.
a
Fetus
really...
from Super
Yeah,
Meat Boy?
yeah. I'm pretty sure the implication is that because there's Larry Jr. in the game normally, who is
Right.
what? This item's interesting. The millipede, only one at a time. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's see what we got.
What does it do?
It seems like it prevents me from having more than one tier on screen at a time. But I don't know what the benefit of that is. Like if I get real close to the I get real close to the wall, I can shoot like super fast. But I guess the idea is as long as you hit fast enough, it kind of doesn't matter. I don't quite know. I'll take both of these.
Millipedes are good animals.
Are they? I find them scary.
They're not scary, they're cute.
Agree to
I'll
disagree.
admit that my definition of cute is very strange, but
I mean,
I find them adorable.
I find like a lot of weird deep sea creatures cute, but I don't know. I think it's because like I actually encounter millipedes. Well, not millipedes necessarily often, but like, you know.
Centipedes are actually a completely different, like, family of animal.
That's weird.
Like, and also, like, this is weird. Centipedes, generally don't have 100, anywhere close to 100 legs. The largest number, I think, is like 70. Whereas the largest number of feet that a millipede has is not 1,000, but it's pretty high up there. It's like 720 in some that live in Madagascar.
That's too many feet.
God.
I don't understand. Like
That
they seem to accomplish the same thing that snakes do by having no feet, which is they just kind of slither. They just kind of slither. They don't really walk.
Yeah.
Like, what is the point of how many feet that a being can have until it is no longer walking, but rather just, like, moving across the ground?
Yeah, that is a weird question, isn't it? Like, at what point does it cease to be walking so much as rippling? No, really.
It's vibing.
Rippling, believe it or not.
No, they really do. They ripple. Like
Ripple.
Ripple, 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 ripple. Oh,
Like,
wow.
Have you ever actually watched close-up video of a millipede walking?
I cannot say that I have.
No.
Also,
You've watched enough nature documentaries in your lives.
I've seen plenty of nature documentaries, just not many about millipedes.
Millipedes.
Okay. Well, basically, like their legs, they almost like they go up in a wave, so that's like almost like a moire effect.
Oh, what?
Moire is when you have like two sets of vertical-ish lines, like one is slightly at an angle that goes over top of one that's like straight up and down, so it looks like it's moving. It's like, I'd have to like link you to a video of what a moire is.
An orange floppy, an infinite loop. Interesting.
Command key symbol.
I don't know what this did. My inkling...
Do you have a tiny hooded friend?
Yeah, that's Charlie. I've had the mod that he's from for a long time, so I actually know what he does. Sometimes when an enemy shot hits him, he will, like, spit out a bunch of purple shots back at the enemy. He's
Yeah,
pretty
so
good.
those are those spiral thingies.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I like him. And there's another one called
Yeah, I was wondering
Alice.
why you weren't getting like hurt by those.
Yeah, and there's another one called Alice that looks almost exactly the same, but it does something slightly different.
Huh.
They're both very good though. But anyway, I realized that this millipede item makes the the Zawarudo completely useless because I can only have one tier on screen at a time. So I can't really shoot when the time stopped. Anyway, I found a room that will re-roll all of the items I have, so I'm gonna do that.
Huh.
Now I
Okay,
got
cool.
the marshmallow, the binky, I think that's sack of bad things in the background there. I don't know what else I have. Something's making me shoot red shots, which is usually a good sign. I got 10 damage, which is quite a lot. Good times. Also, I'm flying somehow. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I still can't get over the marshmallow.
The marshmallow's a good boy.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I am just saying it is just like there's a marshmallow and it's
Mm-hmm.
flying and it's smiling.
Well, he's not going to be flying for too much longer. Or smiling for too
Oh
much longer.
no! He's burning! You monster!
It's okay, it goes out eventually. I think.
I guess that it makes him tastier, but you don't want to eat your marshmallow friend, do you?
It makes him better at defending me. I can light him on any kind of fire that I find.
You gotta keep it mellow.
Okay, that's a little. That is a disturbing relationship you have with this marshmallow.
Welcome to the Binding of Isaac. I mean,
Yeah,
the game
I got that.
The game
Yeah.
is called The Binding of Isaac.
Yes,
I was actually just listening to the like producer dude Marshmallow like before the stream started. Like a little bit of that,
Oh, yeah,
and
that
then
guy.
a little bit of waves.
Oh wait.
Is it pronounced waves or is it wavs? I don't
It's
actually know.
just waves.
It's just waves? Okay.
Waves.
That's the guy that made that album with the cat on the cover, right?
Yep.
King of the Beach.
Well, one of the albums with a cat on the cover, the other being Venetian Snares, Songs for My Cats.
Well, yeah, but I meant like the one that
The cat with the blunt in his hand.
the one with guitars, not the one with psychedelic craziness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like whereas yeah, like the one with the normally when I think the album with the cat on the cover, I
Hey.
think of Songs for My Cats, which is a really odd album. Like even by Venetian Snares standards, that is one hell of an album.
We got the
How does
other.
Nene feel about it, though? That is the important question.
I think he likes that album, right? I've heard him talk about it before. I think
What?
your
Does
boyfriend.
Nene like songs for my cats?
I believe so. His favorite Venetian Snares album, I think, is Doll Doll Doll, which is the one that will give you nightmares.
That's not all of them.
To different degrees, but Doll 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 is the
most.
really nightmare-inducing one.
Tech Alpha Laser Tears. I don't see any lasers.
Like, that's the one with pressure torture and all the children are dead on it. So
Children are dead.
Whoa!
yeah, the title comes from a sample that it uses, which
You
is
guys are
from,
gonna see a bit of a light show in a minute.
Okay. From Art Bell's Coast to Coast AM.
Yeah.
Which is Jane, you seem like the kind of person who would listen to Coast AM. So you're
Thank
probably
you.
aware of it.
I'm
Not-
actually
I'm not saying-
not. I don't think I
I'm
know
not
what
saying
it
that
is.
in a bad way. It's just like you mentioned that previously you were into like when you were younger, like weird paranormal shit. And like,
Yes.
yeah, Art Bell's show is like all about that sort of stuff, and like weird crank people would call, and like basically all the children are dead. The main sample it's around is a slow, pitch down version of a caller from Coast to Coast AM who claimed that his father had been in on the cover-up of a series of child killings that had happened,
Can
which
I
had been perpetrated by a police officer.
can I just say
in
this is
small
like
town.
maybe the most appropriate conversation anyone has ever had while playing The Binding of Isaac?
Oh my god, yeah!
Thematic tie-ins.
Also,
Ahoy.
I got buggy bombs, which is an item that I like.
Neat. But yeah, it's like, it is a really weird, unsettling, sample sequence in a very long, very alarming track. And that's, I think, the last track on Doll Doll Doll. And it's like, that is typical of that album, basically, is what I'm saying.
How very droll, droll, droll.
Indeed. Actually, with that album, it's less and more.
That being said, though, I do
Was
love
that-
Dan Chick.
Was that like your take on Kendrick Lamar's like gunshot noises he makes?
No, it was me imitating Gabber kicks. Because Doll 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 has a lot of Gabber kicks on it.
The ting goes.
But like,
Ooh,
oh my god, gunshot noises. Just, there's. Now I'm reminded of, like, the. Just.
You okay over there?
It's hard to explain. Now I'm thinking of, like, some other really strange music, but it's, like, just a whole different topic.
Oh,
I fly like paper, get high like planes.
Isaac-ng.exe has stopped working.
Oh no.
Alright, well,
Did it crash?
yeah. Alright, well, I guess I will
yeah.
boot that back up. Hold on, I have a placeholder image. Nobody panic.
Oh, fun.
Alright, let me get the
Don't
game.
panic.
Let me get the game booted back up
Let's
here.
panic later.
Keep calm and carry on, and then panic and freak out.
Is there an issue?
What was I thinking? Is like, what would, what would be a great, oh my god! Oh my fucking god, Jane! Oh my fucking god!
Alright,
Good.
so, what
Good!
I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna turn most of these mods off. I'm gonna leave the couple big ones on, but, I think it's obvious that the little ones are not playing nice with each other. I know some of these I can leave on.
That was the best temporary pause image possible.
Wait, I have to debate that claim because friggin' wait a sec. Are you trying to make me lose my
Okay, that one's also up there, yes.
Let me see here. I think the rest of these should be fine. I'm gonna turn off Never
I never got
Breakfast.
to mention it, but that light show mod made your tears look like a friggin' Deadmau5 concert. I would dig it.
So what that is, in the original Flash game, if you had like laser shots, it would scale them based on how much damage you had. The problem with that was that it was possible to get like uselessly large lasers. They'd be really big and they'd cover up a good portion of the room. The mod that I had enabled tried to restore that feature. Anyway, I'm just gonna get started with the new run here because I don't think I'm gonna be able to recover that other one. after turning off like half the mods that I had on. So, no keeper. Oh, hey, guess who we got?
Ooh.
You'll
Let's
see.
see.
Okay.
Do.
This is actually one of my favorite characters, but he's a little bit hard to use, suffice it to say. I did take that picture off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it's
There
okay.
you go.
Yeah, I literally have a I don't know if you guys have ever used OBS, but
We're all little lambs who have lost our way. Something, something, something.
you right? Everything good? Ooh, possessed shot. I've never had this one before. I don't know what this is all about. Anyway,
So,
what I was gonna say is, I don't know if you
That's an
guys have ever used OBS before, but
I have not.
basically you can sort capture windows, basically. So like you'll have a window called Binding of Isaac that is for the Binding of Isaac, and you'll have you know for whatever game. You can also put single pictures on those. And I have one that's just called Dumbass Memes that I use for that. So now you know.
and knowing is half the battle.
Yes.
But yeah.
So what I'm wondering is,
Yes.
how does your health work while you're this guy?
So as the Lost, you only have one hit point and a shield given to you by the item Holy Mantle. So you basically, if you get hit twice in any room, you're done. And I've already gotten hit once against this boss. I'm hoping I can pull this out here, but I don't know. What? Why is he my friend now? You know, I'm just not gonna complain. On to the next floor. Maybe that's what Possessed Tears does. I don't know. The world of Isaac modding is a strange and wonderful one.
Indeed.
I'm getting slow down on this floor for some
Friendship.
reason. Full on friendship,
Camaraderie.
yeah.
The power of
We love
friendship.
We love us some camaraderie.
Some companionship.
Comrade.
Oh,
But yeah, that
Hello,
song I
Cloud.
was singing earlier is apparently an old hymn or something, but it is also used as the live intro in the
Cat, what are
of
you
the
doing?
version of Blood Promise on Swan's album Swans Are Dead.
Cloud. Don't knock
And
that
then,
over.
you know, then the chords come in and it's like,
Sorry, I'm trying to reprimand my cat so she doesn't knock everything on the floor.
doo-doo, doo-doo.
Oh gosh.
I'm back now. Ooh, bombs. Ooh, a chest.
Yeah.
Open.
But yeah, I'm quite fond of that version of that song.
My favorite
Yeah,
song is Livin' in a Box by Livin' in a Box off of their debut album Livin' in a Box.
I'm living in a box. I'm living in a cardboard box.
I actually, like, unironically do like that song. I think it's, you know...
I have nothing against it. I am just saying it's about living in a box.
Living in a cardboard box. He
I'm
found
the man in the box.
the thing that really
Buried.
that kills
in
me
my
about
shit.
that song is before he gets to the chorus, he says, "I found a way to make it through this cellophane bag," which is a lyric that doesn't make sense in any universe.
What is that lyric again?
I found a way to make it through this cellophane bag.
Oh yeah. Oh God. Why? Why does he say that?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't.
mean,
The song isn't about anything. I mean, it's about living in a box, but, like, is it really about living in a box? Living in a cardboard box?
well, hey, sometimes you feel like a plastic bag.
Do you?
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag?
We
I
have
think
fun
that's
here.
a reference.
Katy Perry, Firework.
Oh.
Okay.
We all know that Katy Perry's best song is E.T.
Oh god.
Well, yeah, because
Infection,
it's
enemy
about interstellar
epidemic.
sex. And Kanye West is there.
And then he talks about disrobing and probing.
Yeah.
I forgot that one.
Yeah. That is 100% true.
What a great verse. What
Pretty
comes
sure
next?
there's also a Kenny Loggins reference in there somewhere, because he mentions the danger zone.
That's a song that is... I would say it's very of its time, but I don't know what time period it's from. That song is from 2070.
My brother actually really likes that song because it was like the theme song for his for his like class in some event,
What?
like fundraiser event thing in elementary school, like in the 4th grade.
What?
Oh dear.
Or the danger zone.
That's hilarious.
Welcome to the danger zone. I am
So
your host.
So you've got this 14-year-old kid these days who's just like knows every fucking word to Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone.
I will say,
Oh, God.
I will say that fits with what I know about your brother.
Yeah.
He just seems like the type.
This is the same brother who really likes Sword Art Online, right?
Yes, indeed.
And the same one who briefly guested on an episode of our show.
Really?
Yep.
I believe so. Well,
Huh.
not
I don't
on
know if,
Purpose.
Sredni was present for that one, but
I think that was
not.
I think that was you and Yar and Trevor. But
yeah,
he was, what was he playing? He was playing Paladins in the next room.
Paladins, yeah.
and it was an experience. That was a good
yeah,
show.
that was a mess. In the good way, though, that most of our shows are.
Yeah, I mean, we never really do things like... I sometimes try to put on the air of professionalism on this show, and I don't really know why I bother. You know.
Yeah, this is
Bit of a
this is
ramshackle operation.
It's delightfully shambolic.
Delightfully
Maya mentioned that she
shambolic.
has sunshine in a bag herself instead of feeling like a plastic bag.
You know what I like about that song is the, like... not even a remix, really, but the edit that just replaces all of the lines with "in a bag."
In a bag.
Truly, the Gorillas were a watershed band for our generation. They must be, if this is how we treat them. What is this item? I'm looking at this thing. It's just like a white stick. The paddle, ping. Okay. Oh, it's the paddle from Pong.
Okay,
Incredible.
I have to wonder. Firstly, what is the memeiest band? Second, what is the most memed on band?
The memeiest band is Smash Mouth.
Yeah, definitely
Okay.
Smash Mouth.
Not even counting Smash Mouth though, because it's more like All Star is a meme.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that if Neil Cicierega is to be believed, then it's basically just their entire output.
I actually
Huh.
like as a kid, I really liked Smash Mouth, and
Same.
like there's
Yeah.
like some residual affection there, and I think that might be the secret to why they are like a part of so many internet phenomenon, is because I think that's true of a lot of people.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because there's
But
people like me who got into them for a given value of being into them because their songs
But I'm
were on the
thinking-
radio, and then you
I was
had
think-
like
yeah.
the Shrek connection too, because it was in the trailer
Yeah.
for the first Shrek film.
I'm thinking like Just I'm thinking more though, like what band would be an example of a band that is not necessarily particularly popular or wasn't particularly popular, but nevertheless has high meme value.
Like present actual meme value or like hypothetical meme value?
Well, I mean, either works. That both are good questions.
That's true. So,
I mean,
hmm.
I mean,
Nickelback is a meme, but Nickelback is only a meme because of how much people hate Nickelback.
Yeah, I
and
don't.
then there's
Does that count if the band is
I,
well known but not well liked?
I don't know. I think that's almost its own category. Like, then there's like Death Grips who are a meme, but they have cult popularity.
That's true. I've said this before, but I do really like that video of the guy playing, I think, Rust, and he's just watching
Yes, it
somebody
is good.
else running past while I think it's System Blower plays.
I was thinking more of the video of the guy playing. I can't remember what it is. It involved goats, and Tachyon is playing.
That's the song. Okay, I'm sorry. I get
Yeah,
them mixed up sometimes.
yeah, like System Blower is a very different
Yeah,
song.
I
mean,
only
granted,
know like a handful of Death Grip songs. I keep
but yeah, like
planning
actually,
to actually listen
they're
to
more
them.
similar than some Death Grip songs are. I think.
Well, they do have like
Um,
an album that's just like ambient music, isn't it?
they do have an instrumental album, Runway, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it's Runway. Fashion Week. And each of the ones is
Yeah,
titled
that's right.
Runway A, B, C, D.
I remember
Runway.
when that.
Runway is also yeah.
Yeah.
Runway is an album, a rather rare cassette album by the Dead Sea, who are a noise rock band.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and all the songs on that one are untitled. Um, so,
Interesting. But
uh,
yeah, I totally lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
I think that actually one of the memeiest artists in terms of like higher meme levels than actual popularity would be Merzbow. Come to think of it,
I don't think I've ever seen a meme about Merzbow. In fact, I didn't
Merz.
know how his name was pronounced until just now. I always thought it was
Yeah,
Merzbow.
I mean, I thought that as well, but actually, it turns out because it's derived from the Merzbow, which is an actual. The Merzbow was a building that was also an art piece constructed by the Dada artist Kurt Schwitters.
As one does.
Yeah, so I guess it would be really Merzbow.
We've all been there. We've all constructed buildings for artistic reasons.
Yeah, he referred to it, and this I actually used as part of a title for an album. He called it the Cathedral of Erotic Misery.
So, my bedroom.
Exactly.
Da 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 da
Exactly.
da da da.
I mean, I called that album, from the first Ghost Music album was from the Cathedral of Erotic Misery, and I named it that in tribute to Schwitters. But the thing is that it was all recorded while I was in high school, so it's accurate either way.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
um,
I think that
and
um, noise music in general has like high potential meme levels in the future, but I don't think it's
yeah,
there right now. Because I think you could very easily make uh like okay, picture the following, right?
uh huh,
You got your mind's eye ready to go?
uh huh.
So a clip from a beloved children's show, but then it cuts like there's a super close up and there's a red filter on the clip and it starts playing a noise music track.
Oh yeah, I mean that sort of happens with like people will do stuff like that with Merzbow and White House sometimes, like along those lines. It's not super common, but I think I've seen it at least once. Like, I mean, I personally think that White House, well, actually, it's also a Sutcliffe-Eugen thing because it was written by Kevin Tompkins. Right to Kill has infinite meme potential, honestly, because it is so over the top that it just, like...
Here's an idea for you.
It's your right to kill, it's your fucking nature! You know, it's like...
Can you please, can I ask you an honest question? Please don't do that ever again.
God.
What?
That thing that you did.
Something Gollum noises?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, that is known as, retched screaming. It is a common black metal thing. It was me attempting to imitate what Kevin Tompkins and Philip Best sound like when they're really going off. Although, actually, like, William Bennett sounds completely different. It's more, "Arr!" Whereas, like, Philip Best especially is, like... Philip Best sound... Like, I've heard him compared to the policeman who says, "Get in the back of the van" from Withnail and I.
Sredni, I have to be very honest with you. You're now like 6 or 7 levels deep on things that I don't know anything about. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just you're going down a road and I can't follow you there.
I understand.
Ooh, a shot speed pill.
But yeah, like that, you know, the thing. But yeah,
oh, we
like
got Junior Fetus again. This is bad. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's just like that. I mean, like. Power Electronics has high meme potential because it is so relentlessly over the top. I mean, granted, some of it is like... It gets into weird territory when you have stuff that's, like, not quite over the top enough, but it's too disturbing to be accessible. You know, people like Pharmacon or Brighter Death Now, you know, death industrial stuff. But, like...
Definitely.
Yeah, like... But, like, with like early White House before they got really creepy, like it's so batshit that I think you could use it for meme potential.
Ooh.
Merzbow has no lyrics, so you know that's maximum meme potential.
I got this item last week when we played Isaac.
But like I mean, Pulse Demon is already kind of a meme among certain types of music people.
Pulse Demon?
Pulse Demon. It's like Merzbow's one of his most well-known albums.
I thought you were saying Paul Seaman.
No.
A man whose last name was Seaman.
No. As in like a demon, but with pulsing. You know, it's a pulse demon.
There's some of that in this game.
Yeah, but it's like, I personally think it's like the most boring Merzbow album. And yet it is the memeiest. For some reason. I guess because it is just like relentlessly single-minded sonically, whereas most of his stuff has a little more going on. So it's like, you know, just like whomping you over the head with noises.
I think we need to get a soundboard for you.
Yeah, like just for me to like...
For you to make those noises in, so we can have them whenever we need them.
Yeah, exactly, yes. Just like me making weird noises, and they are triggered by a diverse array of buttons.
Yes. There actually is a thing that does that. It's called a streaming board. They're like $500.
Yeah.
Which,
like, I can imagine.
I imagine... What?
There are angels in love with you now. Angels in Love is the title of a short story by Kate Koya, which is really messed up and weird.
Sredni.
Yeah.
You okay over there?
I'm okay.
I'm just checking. Actually, I had this item last week. This is the Book of the Dead item
Yeah.
that you
The
used
Bardo
to.
Tadol.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, like Angels in Love, it is about a woman who erotically fantasizes about the strange noises she hears in the apartment next to her, and it gets really weird and messed up. And the main character works in a sheet music shop for some reason.
Is that a thing?
Yeah,
A sheet
those
music
exist.
shop? I've never heard
Yeah,
of such
sheet
a thing.
music. You know, like classical music.
Well, yeah, but like a shop that sells just that.
Well, primarily sheet music, yeah. I mean, like, those do exist. Because, I mean, classical scores can be really expensive. So, like, you know, like, there are specific vendors for that sort of thing, and also you can special order that sort of stuff. But, I mean, physical stores, I mean, it's a story, I think, from the 1980s, so it was more likely then, overall, I guess. Or not more likely, but, like, they were more common at that time. As opposed to, you know, buying it online.
So, we are now in the depths without any crashes, so I'm going to call that a small victory for the game stability at the very least.
Neat.
Yes. What do we got in here? I don't think we can make any good use of the addicted item. Just donate some money, I guess.
Trey?
Yeah?
I was wondering where you were. You were like silent for a long time.
That's because you've
I
been
have,
talking
like,
about
zero-
noise music for the past half hour.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't really have much of a way in the
It's-
conversation edgewise, so
It's okay. It's just, you know.
just kind of let Sredni do his thing as I'm wont to do. It's fine though.
I think that's part of why people tune in. It's all good.
Yeah, just a little bit.
For the unusual
let's-
tangents.
Yeah.
But let's see. The time off gave me some time to think about what I'd talk about, and so I was actually gonna go back to me talking about my shake that I got from.
Oh
Steak
yeah,
Shake
you mentioned
before the
you mentioned
stream.
this before the stream.
Yeah. So I went to Steak and Shake, and I got myself a Kit Kat shake because I had been craving both Kit Kats and ice cream and needed a way to satisfy both of those.
Sounds tasty.
So my only thing is that they have new cups at Steak and Shake as opposed to the ones that they've always had, like, for the past about year and a half that they've been open here, and the new cups are smaller. So I paid $4 for a shake that's essentially the same thing but smaller than what I would have gotten last week.
Well, that's annoying.
I'm not happy.
Yeah.
I have never been to a Steak and Shake. There aren't any around here.
Yeah, not around here either.
I think it's mostly like you go more south or more west and you find them, but they're not really in Pennsylvania. There's like one out in like Kutztown or something, I think.
Yeah, Pennsylvania is more like... There are things that are more specific to Pennsylvania, or used to be more specific to Pennsylvania, that, like, you know, are kind of like Wawa is a Pennsylvania thing.
Definitely Wawa. And
And
Sheets to a lesser extent. I knew some people in high school who would, every weekend, they would, like, go on a pilgrimage to Sheets. They would, and mind you, Sheets is a gas station with a built-in, like, food court.
Yeah, I know. I've been to one.
Sheets is my religion.
That was literally the case for these people. Like, the nearest Sheets to our high school, and these kids lived nearby, was like a good hour and a half drive. So you had to go out of your way to get some Sheets. But they did it every weekend as like a hanging out thing, and they would just stay at the Sheets all day. I didn't get it at the time, and I really don't get it now.
I kind
Okay,
of I get it in the sense that the area you are, is there a lot to do?
Um, I mean, the thing is, like, to answer your question, no. But the sheets in question is also just in the middle of nowhere. Like
I know.
you can't do anything there. Like you just stay there and you get hot dogs, I guess.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like it's the it's sort of like what Steve Albini said of why he wrote the song "Kerosene" is like the only two
Because
things
Sheets
that
is a
you.
gas station and kerosene is fuel. I get it.
No, it's like it's like he said that the only two interesting things to do in Missoula, Montana are sex and arson, and inevitably someone's going to try to combine the two. And that's what the song's about.
Sex arson. There's a band name
Yes.
for you. Sex arson.
It was a sex arson spree, sir. Disgusting.
So-
Tell me more.
So as far as Sheets goes, the one near me, they bred like obsessive behavior in the people around it, like the neighborhoods around it, because when
What
when
is
it
this
opened,
thing?
they-
Sorry, I'm seeing a thing that I am not familiar with, and it scared me a little bit. It's gone now. Okay, go on. Something about obsessive behavior in
So what-
Sheets.
Breeding obsessive behavior.
So when it opened,
Dirty.
they sent these they sent these cards in the mail where you could, like, for an entire like 2 months, go to the Sheets and just get like any free drink you wanted,
Huh.
just like any
Wow.
free fountain drink or coffee or whatever the hell. Like, so of
That's a
course
good
I would
deal.
go
Yeah.
every day and just like get fountain drinks, like, just because it was free, like, and then they did it again like about a year later, so it's just like, yeah, I like Sheets.
That's their
Yeah,
secret,
that-
I guess.
That is a good deal.
Also, the hot dogs are banging, like two for $1, and they're not like bad hot dogs.
Good.
This is where I reveal that I'm that person. I actually don't like hot dogs very much. So I don't
To each their
know.
own.
I guess the appeal was never there for me, at least for that particular thing.
I thought about getting a couple from Cookout earlier today, but I decided against it because
What's Cookout?
I wanted to try. Okay, so that's an entirely different rabbit hole. We'll get to that in a second. So, yeah, I decided that I wanted to get a burger from a place called Bad Wolf instead, and that is 100% a Doctor Who reference. Like, they even have the graffiti on the edge of the building and everything.
Oh dear.
It's kind of cool.
Huh. Copyright infringement.
The burger was
I
good.
wonder if it qualifies as fair use.
I don't have-
I don't
I
know.
don't think that they have it trademarked.
Who can
Yeah,
say?
The idea of a wolf being bad is not exactly a new one.
That is fair. Ooh.
Yeah, and isn't
Hey,
in the show it's a reference to a particular a literal translation of the name of a particular like fjord.
A fjord. That's that thing that people are always pining for. Anyway, hey, you guys are gonna see this in a second, but I'm in the shop. Do you guys see this card over here? This card for 5 cents?
Sure. Yeah, I'm seeing it. It looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
It is a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Blue Eyes White Dragon.
my.
No, it's polymerization.
Is it Exodia?
Exodia.
It's the fusion card.
It's
Huh.
time to do.
Ooh, pink floppy disk.
All right, so let me explain cookout.
Yes, please do.
Basically, long ago in the far off land of North Carolina, there
Yes.
exists a fast food place called Cookout.
Mhm.
It is also a religion, but it is a religion more so for its milkshakes and the tray, which is for $5 you get
But
a main dish and then 2 sides. But some
we
of the
have
2
the
sides
tray right
that you
here.
can get. What's up?
I said, but we have the tray right here.
Yeah.
Hey, go on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That is...
for roughly from $5 to $8, you can get yourself almost enough food to feed like 2 people at least. Like, it's kind of beautiful.
It sounds beautiful.
That sounds tasty.
Yeah.
I would like to go to
And
Cookout.
recently they've been expanding to like the southern states beyond North Carolina. There's one in Kentucky in Lexington, and then I guess I've seen it in let's see, Georgia and South Carolina too. I don't know about Virginia, but I don't know. I'll have to check. Either way, it is definitely one of those things that marks where I'm from, because like there isn't much in the way otherwise.
You know where they should expand to?
Where?
Australia and America. Oh, Canada.
God. The first exposure I had to it was actually that Mike Wazowski edit that I reblogged a couple of days ago, and let me tell you,
actually,
I
can
have
we
never laughed.
Exposure to what?
Yeah, we need to get Sredni in on this. Are you familiar
Okay,
with the song "Big Enough" by shoot, what's the guy's name?
Kieran J. Callahan, I think.
Oh wait,
Callahan?
the one about that song.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
It's
the
like
gay Australian cowboy
Yeah.
song, except
Yes.
that's
It's
America.
electronic. Yeah, it's electronic Brokeback.
Yes.
But then it takes a quite the pivot halfway through the song.
And then it's about
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
It's about everything, yeah. It is the end of all music. It is about everything.
It's the end of irony.
And it integrates every possible style of music, including
actually like,
scream.
Like that actually was the point of Captain Ahab's album, The End of Irony, was the idea that there's a certain point where you quote unquote like something ironically, but that it gets to the point where you actually sincerely appreciate it, no matter how ridiculous it is.
That's the thing about Big Enough, though, is that you get to that point instantaneously.
Exactly, and that's but I mean that's what the whole concept of the album The End of Irony is about. And it's like embracing all the ridiculous electronic music tropes.
Yes.
All at the same time.
Yes, that is good, yes.
And it's like, I mean, there's a Death to False Techno, which it's like it's got like
Around the Equator.
I mean, the thing about like Death to False Techno is it gets faster and faster at the end until it becomes a tone, and that tone is used to play Rhapsody in Blue.
That's pretty good.
What?
There's actually I just remembered I just
and then
I just had like a like repressed memory, not the bad kind, come to the surface now that you mentioned that, because there is actually a remix of Day and Night by Kid Cudi that in the middle they randomly play the merry-go-round broke down, the Looney Tunes song.
Oh my.
It's
Wow.
I think it's by Crookers and Crookers, who haven't been famous
Huh.
for like a decade at this point. But
Huh.
I think it was like pretty popular at one point. I remember hearing it on iTunes years and years and years ago.
Huh.
So somebody, you can look that up at some point if you're so inclined.
Then again, like, I guess it's appropriate given that, like, Kid Cudi, while people know he still exists, hasn't exactly been, like...
Kid Cudi's
Hey.
last album is the worst piece of music I've ever listened to in my life.
Which one?
Damn.
Speed and Bullet to Heaven?
Oh, yeah, like, the one that notoriously is, I think, the only album Anthony Fantano ever gave less than a 1 to.
It's... I mean, I think Pitchfork gave it like a 2. Nobody liked this album. Except,
Yeah,
weirdly, for Andre 3000, who thinks it's, like,
I heard
brilliant.
part of Speeding to Bullet to Heaven, and I thought, this is like a normal person trying to be Jandek.
It's like... It's bad, is what it is.
Yeah, it's
It's-
but I mean, you know what I'm saying with that, right? Like
A little
that-
bit, but what it reminded me most of was like those YouTube videos of people who upload themselves singing like really generic mid 2000s rock songs. So like a bedroom cover of a Nickelback song is where that record is at.
no.
And
Did you know that I actually heard Photograph playing in the wild recently?
that song still gets radio play. Somebody out there loves that song. I don't know who,
Like
but they're
one
out
person
there.
who has a lot of power.
Cause I hear it like once every couple months. I'll hear it on the radio or some other Nickelback song. I heard Rockstar the other day. The like
Okay.
I don't know if that one has like persisted in public memory, but that one's real bad.
I just sort of I like I can tell different Nickelback songs apart, but I don't remember that one necessarily. I don't know if I remember
It's
that one.
different from other Nickelback songs in that it feels like it was trying to be almost like a rap type thing at one point.
Oh no.
But there's no actual rapping in it, but it feels like it was like patterned on one. You'd have to listen to
sorta
it.
Like,
You'd have to
sorta
listen to
like-
it to hear what I meant, I think.
that's reminding me of how like the vocalist to Liturgy, Hunter Hunt Hendricks, which is a wild last name, well, wild name in general, supposedly was heavily influenced. This is a black metal guy, by the way, by Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah, they're a good group.
What?
I mean, yes, he claimed that they
That's
were
so
heavily.
strange, though.
I mean, granted, Liturgy are an odd band, and they have managed to piss a lot of people off because they're.
But
Like-
have they pissed off as many people as Nickelback?
As who?
As Nickelback?
Have they pissed off as many people as Nickelback? No, but if you get, like, really obnoxious, like, metalheads
I
complaining
have-
about Liturgy...
I think I just had a revelation. What if
Yeah.
Nickelback is not... Like, what if they know?
What if they know and they're trolling everyone?
What if they're being bad on purpose? Yes, that is my question.
I don't know. They're apparently, like, if you dig deeper into the discography, they're slightly more. You start to realize it's not an act. I guess
What if they're just really committed?
That's true. I don't know. I think that, like, being bad on purpose is a rare trait.
Music theory, is Nickelback the most punk band of all time?
Good God.
No, okay, no, there have to be. are there more notoriously awful bands than Nickelback?
I mean, there's a
Or-
couple bands that are like Nickelback. There's like Daughtry and Hinder and Finger 11, and there's actually
Oh,
quite a
yeah,
few of these guys now that I think about it.
Oh, the butt rock crew.
I mean, that's what people call it. I don't know if that genre has an actual name. I don't know if anybody cares enough to give it an actual name.
It's a form of post grunge.
Like really bad post grunge. I guess like the
Yeah.
Foo Fighters are like the good version of that. Not that I'm a huge
Yeah,
Foo Fighters
again,
fan,
that is what people like post grunge is usually the term, but at the same time that also implies the more kind of poppy bands like that. But if you're referring to the really bad ones, usually the term in question is butt rock. Which I am highly juvenile, so it makes me giggle.
I mean, really, have you ever heard Chad Kroeger sing? He sounds like there's something going on there. I honestly just feel bad for the dude if that's actually what his singing voice is like.
He sounds like he's trying to do an Eddie Vedder impression, but is really, really bad at it.
It's just this fucking, like, bleat.
Yeah,
it's not...
I've heard that tone called yarling before.
That's a really good word for it, because it's very much the sound that a Nordic warlord would make if he was displeased.
I mean, Chad Kroeger kind of looks like a low-rent Nordic warlord.
Oh my god.
But it's just a theory.
I mean,
a music theory.
Music theory.
Oh god,
we have fun here.
Oh no, I know that YouTube channel exists, but I have avoided it like the plague.
You know, I watched one, and it was like bad, but I've seen worse. You know what I mean?
I can imagine that there is definitely worse, but it seems like not good.
I think it's just because it's popular. It annoys people. It's popular and it's not good, so, you know.
Yeah, it's the, it is the whole, yeah. It's similar to the whole CinemaSins thing.
Yeah,
it's
that
too. Bad. Yeah.
I think after this run, I will maybe switch games. I know I had said that I was going to play Isaac the entire time, but I really want to show off. I feel kind of dumb doing this because I have an Indie Bazaar episode on this very game coming out this Wednesday, but I want to show off this game that I got the other day. It's pretty fun.
Let's call it a preview.
Sure.
Oh, also, you should at some point do an episode on Vivian Clark. Or...
the Soda Drinker Pro guy's, serious game.
Yeah, the secret game.
I actually have a funny story behind that game. I watched it, 'cause you know how that game was originally, it was hidden inside Soda Drinker Pro?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly,
yeah.
I was there when it was discovered. When they found it. It was on a live stream I was watching. It was
cool.
Rockley Smile and Green 9090, who was no longer in the YouTube business. They were playing Soda Drinker Pro, and I don't remember what led up to it, but they found it. And it was it was actually really cool because it was like a very very small stream. There were maybe 20 or 30 people there total.
So they were the first people to Let's Play it to actually find it.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, yeah.
Neat.
Yeah.
I found out about it from somebody else finding it but not knowing anything, knowing that there was something there but not knowing what it was.
Yeah.
And, and then proceeding to spend a great deal of time playing Vivian
Yeah.
Clark.
That was
Which
in,
I-
like... Sorry, go on.
I just think it would be cool to be in on a stream playing that because it is so charming. I like it a
Yeah.
lot.
That was in, like... Geez, that was in, like, 2013. Because I remember,
Yeah, a while back, I think.
I remember the entire chat. This was at the height of the, like, the roguelite craze with, like, Spelunky HD coming out and all that. And people kept joking that it was a roguelike. Even though it is obviously not, you know, memes. But, actually, if anybody remembers the... Oh, I just died. Oh, that's pretty lame. If anybody remembers the prevalence of the term roguelike, that was...
Roguelike?
That was about that era. Yeah. So that's interesting to see that brought up. I hear that brought up here.
Go Otaku, there is no such thing as playing Soda Drinker Pro too much. There is just no such thing.
Green 9090 still does a game, not a game. Does he? I had heard the other day, because I had heard from somebody else a while ago that he had, like, fallen in with the alt-right crowd, but then somebody else told me that that's not true, and that he, like, retired because he couldn't afford to keep doing YouTube stuff. I don't know what that dude's up to. I was never, like, a huge fan, so I didn't really seek him out.
What is game not a game? Because it's sounding a little, like...
I think that was his, like...
concerning to me.
I think it was just, like, his version of, like, indie impressions, or let's look at, like, it was his, like, showing off a game show. I'm not sure, though.
Yeah, generally speaking, I don't care for the whole, it is not a game.
I get where you're coming from, but I think that the name was, like, a reference to something. Like I said, I haven't watched the guy in years. I don't remember too well. Anyway. Anyway.
Oh yeah, okay, Go Otaku has correct opinions. You know. Good. Oh, good. Apparently Green 9090 is not an alt-writer. Thank you, Maya.
Okay, yeah, see, this is why I shouldn't believe things that I randomly see on Reddit. But,
don't believe Reddit.
I don't know.
Reddit is Reddit.
I've heard different things from different people. I should just, like, look the guy up again. He's probably still doing something.
I don't know. I've had pretty okay experiences on Reddit overall, mostly because I just lurk. Although, although I did comment on an AMA that the creators of Pickle and Peanut did a couple of weeks ago, actually.
Neat.
And they wrote back. So
that
was cool.
Neat.
I'm going to go use the restroom quick and get a soda, and I will be back with our secret second game of the evening, and then we'll probably just go like until the Haruhi group watch at 11.
Oh yeah, that is happening. What platform are you using?
Rabbit. I will drop a link in the
Rabbit,
Discord
probably.
server. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I find using Rabbit really awkward, unfortunately.
Oh.
Because, like, it does not work on my desktop, and it acts kind of strange on the tablet,
That's
so...
weird.
I'm sorry, I won't be able to attend, probably.
That's okay, don't worry about it.
I mean, I might.
Anyway, like I said, I will be right back.
Alright. So we must hold down the fort.
The fort, it has been placed into our care. We must protect it with our lives.
And of course, tie it to things so it doesn't go anywhere.
Just keep it on the ground. Like a balloon, almost.
Like a balloon. Or a prisoner.
A couple of weeks ago, I went to a birthday party that was technically for a friend of mine, but I laid claim to it as mine too because it was my birthday weekend.
Okay.
So So they had balloons there, and I took one and drew a face on it, and added some text onto the back of him. His name is Bartholomew, and let me actually find him, like, because the air like actually kept it. So his his text says, "Hello, my name is Bartholomew. My existence is temporary, but I would love to be your friend until the time inevitably comes."
That is endearing.
He's my son, and I love him. And he's actually still kept like his air pretty good, like in the 2 weeks since he came into this world. So, yeah.
Huzzah!
He's also on my Snapchat stories, like the memory things. So he's immortal. He will never die.
Why is a balloon evoking Mono no Aware in me?
He's my son.
It's like, you know, the pathos of the temporariness of things.
True. The ephemeral nature of our existences.
Yeah, it's like the literal translation of Mono no Aware is things sighing.
Right?
As in thing apostrophe S sighing.
Yeah.
And it's like it is one of my favorite literary concepts, tropes, whatever you might call it.
So is that a Japanese one?
Yup.
Like an idea, typically?
Oh, it's like the idea that because things are temporary, they have a certain pathos and significance to them that they might not otherwise have if they were just there all the time.
Gotcha.
It's like, life is short, and, in a way that actually gives it a certain added value, despite the fact that, it is short.
All right.
It's more, you appreciate it.
I am back. You guys enjoying staring at this meme that I stole from Twitter?
I did not see the meme. Where is meme?
Look at the stream. It should still be up. It's the same one I put up earlier.
Ah, okay. Well, I'm just seeing blackness.
Oh,
which
that's
is
weird.
Appropriate to me talking about the pathos of things.
Are we doing philosophy talk again?
We're having deep conversation.
Hashtag deep conversation.
I brought up the temporary life of my balloon son Bartholomew, and we ended up drifting from there into the ephemerality of of our lives.
I missed like an entire segment here. I'll have to go back and watch this one on the VOD. Anyway, would anybody?
It's like you would. We talked about Mono no Aware, which incidentally, you as a fan of Kino's
I actually do know what that is. That's awareness of the transience of things, or something. I believe.
Exactly, and it's like so we were talking about that.
Anyway,
and
sorry to interrupt, but anybody want to take a guess at what the game is? I have been talking about it like all week on the server.
I am not going to guess.
What?
Not on your server, because I don't have very much knowledge of what goes on there. Unfortunately,
that's
I'm not
okay.
tuned in.
That's okay. I was asking the chat as much as anybody else, but it'll be up on screen in a second here, provided it's capturing okay, which it looks like it is.
Oh, apparently Maya says, I once saw an inflatable castle fly off. Thankfully, the kids had already gotten off.
Oh my. Anyway, so, just to give a quick introduction here, and again, you're going to hear all this reiterated in the Indie Bazaar video that goes up later this week. But this is Fist's Elimination Tower, and this is, well, it's probably easier to just kind of get into things. It's a platformer. You'll see.
We'll see.
It also has character customization.
I will see.
We shall see.
Where's Neon? Can you not, though?
Okay, Gollum.
I love doing pharyngeal voice.
But
though.
I'm pretty sure though that like gets like amplified a billion times by the processing. You know what I mean?
Oh dear. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Anyway, we're gonna start the game as Neon
so no
Lincoln.
pig squealing over here.
No pig squealing.
No pig
Neon
squealing,
Lincoln.
no gurgling, no Cookie Monster, no wretched screaming, no shrieking, no. I'm trying to come up with all the harsh vocal techniques I cannot use on this.
Anyway, yeah, we're playing as Neon Abraham Lincoln here. At least we are until we die.
Okay, I need to restart Twitch because it's not doing the thing.
That's
Why
always
are you
annoying.
not doing the?
Can
Why
you-
are you
can you
not
guys-
doing the thing?
Can you guys see okay?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay.
I've got it now. We're Neon Abraham Lincoln. Oh my god.
Yeah, I actually made this guy during the Indie Bazaar episode. I tried to make an Oompa Loompa, but it didn't quite work. So I just gave him a hat.
Well, I mean, this is even better.
This is very good.
Gave him a
I'm
hat and a
digging the
beard.
aesthetic.
It's an Oompa Loompa with a beard, which happens to be Abraham Lincoln.
Oompraham Lincoln.
Oompraham Lincoln. Oh god. Time is money.
Yeah, so you pick. So each of the floors is timed, and if you pick up a coin, you get more time added to the clock. That is the.
So
you gotta. Time is very literally.
You gotta
money.
get. So you gotta get them hot dollars.
Yes.
What? Who was that sighing woman who also said time is money?
Oh, that's the host. That's Fist.
Okay.
She is like 99% of the reason I bought this game, which I didn't mention in the Indie Bazaar episode because it's not very professional to say, but you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's sort of like saying, you know, half the reason why I watched Hunter x Hunter was because of Neferpito.
You know, marketing. It works.
I am highly susceptible to androgynous cat people.
I mean, hey, the only reason I'm watching Danger and Eggs, like, officially is because I love the Egg Boy.
Egg boy.
He's a good Egg Boy.
We know
He's
a lot
good.
of eggs. There's that egg, and there's Cammy, and there's Northern Lion. That's 3 eggs.
Triple egg.
Triple egg action.
Triple egg. It's like triple A action, but like better because
Yeah.
eggs. And then
What do you guys think that a triple egg battery would power?
a triple egg battery would power. It would power a small portable, like, game-playing device in which you are in a platformer in which you play Tsukiji Araragi beating up criminals.
You thought that out quite a bit, didn't you?
I don't know. I just thought of Cammy and just
Her
you know,
fixation with Egg Lady. I get you.
her fixation on the Fire Sisters, and was like, okay, that seems like a logical place to go with this.
A few more
yes.
eggs and we get an execute. Pokemon. I actually quite like Executor. Weird palm tree man.
Yeah, the Alolan Executor
With the really
is
long neck
good.
is also very good, yeah.
Yeah, that's like that is a good Poke.
A good mon.
Good Mons.
Indeed.
I know a lot about Pokemon, even though I haven't actually like played any of the games. And I mentioned this in my history of video games class, and they were like, You're a heathen.
I mean, like,
I think
same.
that you
sort
would enjoy some of the Pokemon games.
Honestly, I feel like I would love it if I ever got the chance to. I just don't have a 3DS.
Emil told me that I would probably really enjoy the Mystery Dungeon games.
I've never played those, so I can't speak to that. I think that... Wow, I just walked off the edge of the platform there. That wasn't very smart. I think, Trey, you would like a lot of the, like, more mechanical, electric and steel type Pokemon.
Yeah, when Bird made her list of the Pokemon that she thought that I would dig, she included a bunch of those, and I was digging those character designs.
Like, I know Magnemite is one of my favorite Pokemon, so I don't know, maybe you would dig that boy too. I really want to get a Magnemite plushie one of these days. I think that would be a fun thing to own. A stuffed Magnemite.
That would be good to have, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The irony of it is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Irony.
Because he's made out of metal.
I didn't even really mean to do that one.
Oh my god.
That's why there's
How
three
did
of
you
us,
do
so
that?
we can all pick up on each other's unintentional jokes.
How did you do that unintentionally?
Because it's iron, and it's the fact that it's a metal Pokemon, but it's
It's
a
what?
plushie
It's the
of
most
it.
common magnetic metal.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the most common magnetic metal. Nickel, cobalt, zinc, and I can't remember the other one.
Oh, that guy had a kid recently.
What?
There's a streamer named Cobalt Streak.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that was a joke for basically nobody, but you know.
Yeah.
It'd be like that sometimes.
But there are also other magnetic metals, but most of them are rare earth metals. So, like, you know,
I got
they
it.
don't really
That's
come
good.
up much, like neodymium.
That doesn't even sound real. Sounds
Yeah,
made
like-
up.
Yeah, neodymium is an extremely powerful magnetic metal. We have a few neodymium magnets sitting around the house.
Why?
Because they're useful as magnets, and they're used in industrial things.
But your house isn't like a factory, right?
No, I think it was some weird car stuff that my uncle used to have lying around.
Ah, that's what you tell the government anyway.
No, that's the uranium you're thinking of.
We shouldn't say that kind of thing. We'll get put on a frickin' watch list.
Oh, watch list.
Ooh, wah. Down with the watch list.
I was watching the stream and like getting into it a little bit because like, geez, these stages are getting intense.
Yeah, this game's the game's pretty hard. I actually really like this game, and it was only $5. I feel like I like ripped the developer off.
Yeah, it's got that Meat Boy appeal to it, I think.
Yeah. And
Oh my god, it was like you hit the thing and then sudden fist slam doom.
look out for fists. That's what she says.
Indeed.
Look out for fists.
That is not, however, what she said.
It is. She says it at the start of each like section of floors.
Yeah.
My robots have been blowing up left and right, especially the ones that go left and right. Look out for fists.
I don't know, like, Fisk's character design, like, vaguely reminds me of Scott Pilgrim, but I can't pin why.
I think it's the facial expressions and eye shape.
Maybe.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, it does have a Brian Lee O'Malley vibe.
Alright, that's good, because I said that in the video, and, like, as soon as I said it, I was like, I hope people don't think that I'm, like, just, like, making that up, you know?
People need to understand that I am the most objective of game reviewers.
Well, you know what? I tend to, like, ramble all over the place when I do those reviews. I mean, I think people largely know what they're getting into.
True. But, I mean, I just find the whole... I just have to rag on the whole concept of objective reviewing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, in the first place, I only cover stuff if I, like, enjoy it. So, that's not even, like, a concern for my show, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that in your update video.
Yeah. I don't think I ever explained why there's that weird cut at the end of that video, did I?
I didn't really fully get it beyond you just mentioning, hey, let me get back to this.
Yeah, so what happened was...
you got eliminated.
Yeah, so what happened was, I was recording the update video and my mom came home and started yelling at the cats. So I had to, like, put an edit in so that way none of that was in the video. And the reason I'm so quiet after the cut is because I recorded the second part in my bedroom. Like, while she was sleeping. So that's why.
Oh, yikes.
Yikes. That is like one of the few advantages of living in a freezing, musty attic, is that you can be as loud as you want. And mostly people won't notice.
That's why the end of the video turned into ASMR. That wasn't the intention, but I'm glad somebody got something out of that.
What?
That's
with the end of the video turning into ASMR?
Well, the update video I made last night, the last part of it's all, like, quiet, and I'm, like, basically whispering into the microphone because of the stuff I just mentioned. So,
Jane.
I guess somebody got something out of that. I mean, you know.
Oh my god.
Someone got something out of that.
Oh, Lord. That's gonna be the next thing. I'm gonna, like, get people asking me to launch an ASMR side channel. Oh, Lord.
Oh, God. That would be really pretty great.
I tell you right now, I don't see myself having a career in that particular field. I mean, never say never, but, you know.
I unfortunately do not have a ham and cheese sandwich to eat this time in ASMR fashion. You know,
Jane.
What?
You should make your Destiny character a contestant.
Oh!
If you haven't done that already.
How would I go about doing that? I could make the hunter. She's one of those purple people, the Awoken. But I don't think I have.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a purple skin color though. I could use like this shade of brown, I guess. I guess that would work. Do we have like the right kind of hair? Like that's kind of close. That's interesting. This one's very anime.
So, how you liking the hunter subclasses?
I actually have to be honest. I haven't been playing a ton of Destiny lately, just because I've been. Well, for one thing, I was sick for most of the week. That was the main thing. But
Oh, I forgot. After. Yeah, sorry.
What?
Oh, I wanted to say something after you're done discussing this.
But basically, of the three, I think I like the what's the void one called again?
Night Stalker.
That one, yeah. I like that one the best,
Yeah.
I think. I really like the
Yeah,
arrow.
Yeah, the arrow's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't made my second and like third characters just yet, but if I I think I'm probably gonna end up doing a hunter second too, and then maybe going with either Arcblade or Night Stalker for it, because like
Mhm.
Golden Gun's okay. It's not like great, at least to me.
I like Golden Gun when you can get it to work, but making it work is pretty hard. What was that? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That was like
Weird noise.
that was like
Like
the frickin' that bloop thing that the national weather people
It's-
recorded off the coast of the Antarctica a couple years ago.
yeah, like that weird noise that just was. It sounded like a truck taking off.
Little bit, yeah.
I don't know. It might have been from me because like I'm standing right next to my window, and like my dorm is like right on a main street here in Lexington. So
Maybe it was
I don't know,
outside.
maybe that might have
then.
been it.
Yeah.
I actually think that
but,
weird noises kind of add some character to the show. I don't really mind.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree. Was mainly because I'm the perpetrator of accidental weird noises on a frequent basis.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, right before I got on here, I watched the first 2 episodes of Little Witch Academia
Oh, cool. What'd you think?
Nice.
for the first time.
What'd you think?
Observations. I am slightly wary of Susie because she tried to actually get the other characters murdered to get something.
She's pretty great.
I mean, she is, but she's awful at the
That's
same
my
time.
daughter. What a
Yeah,
great
it's
character.
like, I mean, it's just wrong. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I think she would be helpful in certain sticky situations because she's terrifying.
It's actually, I do want to correct you because I got this wrong for the longest time too. Her name actually is pronounced sushi, like the fish food.
Ah, sushi.
Yeah, it's like
All right.
Filipino, I think.
Oh, that's interesting. That actually makes a certain amount of sense for some reason.
I keep overshooting my jumps on this run, but yeah.
And also, I don't know to what degree it's intentional, but I feel like almost vaguely bad for Diana.
How so?
Like that there's like, she's a person who's on the one hand is like really arrogant and obnoxious, but on the other hand, you kind of get the sense that people expect a lot of her given her situation and her family legacy in a way that makes her act like more of a jerk than she actually wants to be.
All I will say is that I think you should continue watching the series and see how that bears out.
How that
Develops.
pans out.
Mm-hmm. It's a good show.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I have some like problems with how it's structured, but they're mostly pretty minor.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean once you get further into
You
the
keep
series.
getting squished.
Yeah, I'm not doing as well on this one as I was on the last one. That's alright,
But
though.
yeah, I do intend to watch more of the show soon. It strikes me as a good show.
Out of curiosity, are you watching it on Netflix or are you watching Asensi.moe's subs?
I am watching it on Netflix.
Okay.
But is there a serious issue with the subs?
So the subs on Netflix are a lot more literal, which
Okay.
is not inherently horrible, but there's a couple places in the show where it kind of changes the tone of certain scenes in a way that a lot of people don't really like, myself included. I mean, it's up to you. Asensi has their own website, and you can get their subtitles from there if you're so inclined.
Alright.
I actually know the guy who runs Asensi subtitling. His name is Joel. He hangs out on the Trigger server.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, nice dude.
Yeah. I apologize for, kind of, leaving the trigger cord. It wasn't any issue there. It's just that I was never on there.
Oh, don't worry about it. Things come, things go.
Yeah. I might show up again if there is some means of doing so, if I, have something to actually say.
I know, I mean, the Trigger Cord in general is kind of in a little bit of a downswing right now, just because there's not anything airing from them right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, once Darling in the Frankus starts airing, I think it'll pick up a lot.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that show. Have you seen anything of that?
Have there been any more detailed trailers beyond the first initial one?
They've done character reveal trailers. We haven't seen anything animated yet, which is interesting. But, so they're playing their cards pretty close to their chest with that. I don't quite know why. But, we've seen a lot of, character designs and the designs of the robots and stuff. It looks really good so far.
That's good. I was a little wary. Isn't it a co-projection with A1?
With A1 Pictures, yeah. A lot of people were wary about that, but if you look at the actual staff, people tell me that it is very good in that regard.
Yeah, A1 is one of those studios where you really have to watch the staff.
Mm-hmm.
If you get good staff on a show with A1, generally it's going to be reasonably solid, but the problem is that a lot of the time, most of their stuff is done by very nondescript people doing very nondescript anime.
Yeah, they do, a lot of adaptations and stuff, and,
Yeah, a lot of adaptations, the generic light novel adaptation is kind of their bread and butter,
yeah.
Oh god, the stuff like the Asterisk War.
Yeah, what's up, Trey?
I think they did regular at Magic High School. That's another one of those.
What were you gonna say, Trey?
So they did the video for Porter Robinson and Mady on the song "Shelter."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that one was really good.
Yeah, it's who they bring on. It really varies. They have their moments of being really good. It's just that they're kind of they're the production arm of Aniplex, which is in turn a subsidiary of Sony. So they're kind of they're the house studio for Sony, and that means that they are the platonic ideal of just an animation studio.
Yeah.
In the vaguest sense.
Interesting company, at the very least.
Yeah, I mean...
If only in how occasionally deeply uninteresting they are, but,
Yeah, it's weird, it's from just a... What is it? How do I put it? It's from a meta standpoint, they're kind of interesting in the same way that Masters of Entertainment are interesting from a meta standpoint, although much better than Masters of Entertainment. But it's I don't know, from an output standpoint, they're mixed.
Yeah. But anyway, about Darling itself, the robot designs really remind me of Diebuster. So,
neat.
I mean, I don't know if anybody here has seen that, but
I have not yet, but I intend to.
It's a good thing to look like, to say the least.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
out.
It's like a more like organic and expressive version of what Gurren Lagann was doing, kind of.
Yeah, like older school Gynex giant
Yeah,
robots.
that kind of thing. And occasionally with even more exaggeration, like the main robot, which I think is the Frankus, if I'm not mistaken, has these like really big bulky arms, but then everything else is kind of like slender and feminine looking. It's an interesting design.
Ooh.
Eliminated.
Oh, that's very like a lot of the characteristics of that kind of make me think of hello?
Yep.
Okay. It's just that like something weird happened with the Twitch stream and everyone was quiet and
Oh,
then just like
weird.
But what I was thinking was is like that I wonder how much of an influence it's taking from things like, I mean, and it would make sense, you know, given Trigger's legacy, that like from like Go Nagai's old super robot shows.
Oh, I have
which-
to imagine. Yeah, like
Yeah, like with those really
That stuff
expressive,
from, like-
over the top.
yeah,
yeah.
like the 70s and 80s stuff. A lot of that is what bleeds into their
Yeah,
style.
where the robots are more like kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It's like they're in a way the superhero characters in and of themselves.
Yeah.
And then of course the people, well, in that though, the people piloting them are usually men with those flowing, like, not actually sideburns.
Sideburns.
They're not actually sideburns, it's their hair, but it's formed into those sideburns because Go Nagai.
Shapes.
You know. And like, you know, with the muscles and the, you know, like the looking super hot blooded and holding their fist in front of their face and shaking their head.
The looking super hot. Sredni, 2017.
But yeah, basically, like, you know, sort of like, basically, the characters that Undyne is trying to emulate.
You know, that's actually a very good point of reference. I get you.
No, it's totally true. Like, she acts exactly
No,
like
that's-
a Go
that's-
Nagai super robot.
That's what
protagonist.
that's what I mean. Is I get what you mean.
Yeah. And I mean, she overtly references Utena when in her little monologue bit. Like, you know, they're your giant robots and flowery swordswomen.
Sorry,
It's
is that
like-
actually pronounced Utena and not Utena?
Utena. Like, you can hear it in the show.
I've
You know,
never
Utena.
seen the show.
You need to. It's so good.
There's a lot of things that I need to see because they're so good. Also, hey, I want to take a minute here to point out that this can of paint that says "dang paint" on it. I really like that.
Huh.
It's pretty good.
Dang paint. I think I pointed it out.
Dang.
I think I pointed it out twice in the Indie Bazaar episode too. It's really good. I don't know why I find that so funny, but I do.
One of my so remember that root beer that I mentioned that my friend got me?
Yeah.
So one of the brands actually is Dang That's Good root beer. So it just has Dang like in big cursive letters. It's pretty great.
That's funny.
That
They
is
have-
pretty great.
They have a regular root beer that's kind of underwhelming and a butterscotch root beer that's actually really good.
Hmm.
So
That reminds me of what is that company's name? They make a bunch of sodas with like really macho aggressive names. Their cola is called Fucka-Cola. And I
I
think
don't know if I've heard of that one.
they have this like spicy grape soda called Brainwash.
Oh yeah, those guys.
Yeah. And
Are they the ones that made like
Brainwash is the one with jalapeno in it.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Jesus.
Jalapeno cola.
That's insane.
I don't know why anybody would ever drink it, but it does exist.
I would.
Why? That's too hot.
Because he's Sredni, that's...
I'm a special case. I have problems, okay, Jane? I have brain problems, and I need my brain to be washed with brainwash.
They can use that as a commercial,
So-
but only if they pay me $20.
Yes! And pay me, like, 15.
Yeah, there you go.
I want 5 just for the association.
Just for being here.
You get, like, 20, I get 15. And so the total is $35. Also, like, Trey can get, like, $5, so it's, like, $40 that they need to pony up.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, like, I like really weird soda, and I like spicy things, including spicy beverages, so I'm intrigued with the concept.
I like some weird sodas, but I don't like the idea of a jalapeno flavored soda. I like
I
jalapeno chips.
I just like, I like the idea for some deep-seated messed up reason. Maybe my parents didn't love me enough as a child.
Put that on the back of the label.
Yes!
Were you repressing all of your hard feelings from your childhood? Drink this soda.
It will cleanse you.
Drink Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. It will supplement the fact that you're not getting fucked any other way.
God.
We have fun here.
We do.
Oh my god.
It's just like, so their different flavors are for childhood trauma
And not getting
crippling
laid
sexual
enough. Yeah.
inadequacy.
Oh, Lord. I'm really glad my siblings don't watch this channel.
Yeah. It's mostly my fault, but
It's okay.
still,
We're all culpable here.
we are all culpable. You know, like as the pop groups say, we are all prostitutes. Everyone has their price. Everyone. And
Jesus
then like
Christ.
and then the bass line comes in.
And then the team goes,
You know, and then all of a sudden freeform cello solo.
as one does.
No, really. On the song "We Are All Prostitutes," they have a freeform cello solo.
I believe you. I mean, you could tell me anything about a song that you listen to and enjoy, and I would probably believe it.
It's a great song, and it is funky as hell, but like...
But it has a
it's funky
cello
as hell,
solo.
and has a freeform cello solo.
Well, you
Like,
know, somebody's got to
While
push
there's a
boundaries.
walking bass line. Like, no.
Do you ever wonder... Sredni
Have I ever
noises
what?
dot Abby. Do you ever wonder if walking bass line's legs get tired?
That was such a bad joke that it wrapped around to being the best joke.
That's what I aim for, really.
It's
It's
sort
when
of-
they get all strung out that you have to watch out for.
Yeah, it's like but I mean, actually, the visual equivalent to that I observed in this game, which is the little robots with the sunglasses that you destroy their sunglasses by jumping on them.
Yeah, those guys are good. I like them. I would
I like them
absolutely buy like a plushie of one of these weird little robot bunnies.
Yes.
71.
Kia.
Yeah, there's I think 150 floors.
Damn, that is a lot.
Yeah, and you only get
That is a
25
lot of
lives to
floors.
clear them. So
Wow, you have to. Yeah. You have to knuckle down.
Budgeting.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that wasn't intentional.
Knuckle down. Oh man, they should put that on the Steam page for the game.
Yes.
So now you know how it feels, Sredni.
I do. Yes. How does it feel when it's revealed that you've reached the living end?
How does it
How
feel?
does it feel?
What is
You
that?
treat me like you do.
What is that
That's
even
New Order.
from? Okay.
Blue Monday.
Mine was a reference to the chorus to Mad Men's Honey by Wire.
Yeah, but Trey and I were on the same one, and I couldn't remember where it was from.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't remember that one either.
That's Blue Monday by New Order.
Oh yeah. How does it feel? You need the groove to it.
Boom, 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 boom. Oh no 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 da 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 da.
Which is actually surprisingly similar to "I Wanna Be Your Dog" by the Stooges.
Huh.
There's a DJ Hero 2 mix that mixes that with a Calvin Harris song, and it is the most beautiful thing ever.
That's
dear.
incredible. That game.
It was from back when Calvin Harris wasn't a name that people knew.
Yeah. That game was either very ahead of or very behind its time, and I'm not sure which.
Honestly, both.
Both, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's true of a lot of things. Let's be honest.
Like, E.T. by Katy Perry.
That is true, and that also brings us back to way earlier in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You're from a whole nother world, a different dimension.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what I try to do on this show, is you bring it back around at the end.
I'm gonna disrobe you, then I'm gonna probe you. No.
Oh Lord.
Kanye says that in this song.
Kanye says a
It's-
lot of things. I have a great anecdote actually relating to Kanye West, and I'm gonna tell it after this screen interlude.
Boom.
So, the other day, I was
Yes.
at the Palmerton Park with my younger brother. Now this is, keep in mind, like straight up a playground for children. Okay,
Yes.
so you've got the whole thing in mind. Now, so I'm watching him, right, and these two teenagers, they had to be like maybe 14, 15, somewhere thereabouts. They've got like 20 facial piercings each, and
What?
they go over to the swing set. They take one of them takes out their phone, and they turn on "Famous" by Kanye West. They set it in the mulch, and they start swinging.
Are there children here, though?
Yeah, no, I was there
God.
with my youngest
I mean,
brother.
them just going to the park and swinging is kind of great, but it is a very strange little choice there.
But the song is what takes it from being like, 1% bizarre to being like 102% bizarre.
That is true. I agree.
That's
It
the
is-
one where he says that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I made that bitch famous, etc. Yes, that one.
And
oh my god.
I've never been like, I mean, this is kind of funny because I moderate a Discord server where half the people call me mom, but I've never been like super parental towards my younger brother. But that one, I just shared a look with like 5 parents there, and we were all just like, kind of, is this really happening?
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, we just left. I just took him to the library. It was, and this wasn't like late at night either. It was like 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Jeez.
And it was a Wednesday, so those kids should have been. There's so many layers to unpack.
There are a lot of layers to unpack with that one.
You
Hey,
pick...
maybe those two just felt like Pablo.
But it's just like you. It was a situation to be certain.
Yeah.
Mom aesthetic is a good
Now
aesthetic.
why am I remembering that Jersey Shore existed? No! 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 Those rabbit dudes are good.
They are. The only thing I know about Jersey Shore is that one of the guys is named The Show. And I feel like that's all...
Situation?
The situation, that's right, sorry. And I feel like that's all that I need to know. Everything else
It really
is secondary.
is all that you need to know.
He's the situation.
There's one more thing though.
What?
The theme song is by LMFAO.
That's amazing. That must have been like before they were famous, right?
It was around like I guess I want to say a year before Party Rock Anthem. So like yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, did you know that Red Foo from LMFAO was on the very first Black Eyed Peas album in like 1998?
Yeah, I think you mentioned that on one of our previous streams.
Did I? Darn it! I'm repeating my pointless trivia.
That is actually just really pretty surreal.
It is.
It's still incredible.
I mean, just like, wow.
Yeah. It's pretty odd.
It's amazing how an almost empty screen can be so difficult.
Yeah. These arrows are new to me. I don't think I've ever gotten this far before.
Sword
Art Online.
There's specifically, like, whenever there are, like, swords in certain circumstances, I immediately think of there's this thing that happens in Homestuck, which is actually pretty easy to...
Let's go.
No. Basically, a character gets the ability to just produce any kind of random thing they want, and produces a sword that is, like, basically the equivalent of MS Paint and Comic Sans in sword form.
The Sod.
It's spelled SORD ... in Comic Sans in all caps.
The Sword.
Well,
Yeah,
to be
sword.
fair, you have to have a pretty high IQ to understand it. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's like that is if you it has a direct connection to Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff and all that nonsense.
Sweet Bro and or Hella Jeff.
Exactly.
I mean, Dave's got to have his shitty swords. That's
Yeah,
just
Dave.
the fact of life.
Yeah, you remember exactly what I'm talking about. The shitty
I do.
sword. That's still one of my favorite parts in that comic is the shitty swords.
You know what's a really good webcomic that people should read?
What is?
Kill
What
6
is
Billion Demons.
Yes, I've heard it's really good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's about?
Well, I mean, I remember that her boyfriend gets stolen by a demon.
Yes. But there is a very strong central point, which is that she has to kill 6 billion demons.
Yes.
God.
Yes. And
Yes.
that becomes more plausible as the story goes on.
Yes, yes. It is a like a hero's journey type thing. It's a good comic.
Yeah, I have heard as much.
They were also apparently making like a role-playing game system for it at some point. I don't know if that's still in development. Like a tabletop type thing.
I kind of like how there are sort of breather levels here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they're not all like incredibly hard. Just
yeah, like it
most of
varies the
them.
difficulty and, you know, plays with your expectations a little.
Mm-hmm. And also some of them are more about dexterity, and other ones you kind of got to figure out what you're supposed to do in
Yeah,
in
like
what
some
order.
of them are more like puzzles.
More puzzly, yeah. Let's cash out here, and I will do some spins on the spinneroo. And then we'll do
Ooh.
one more run before I end the stream for the day.
And then we can do MS Paint like we always do.
Actually, yeah, if we're gonna do that, we should do that now, probably.
Okay.
I get a contestant expansion. And a new hat. Cool.
Neat.
Yes. Alright, well that
Fists
was
list.
that was Fist's Elimination Tower. I've actually never looked in this. What is this? Oh, it's like achievements, okay. Sweet Chivos. Hop on 12 Munmuns.
Which apparently are the thing that all the girls are enjoying of, and the selection for the matings with the Chivos.
You gotta get those sweet Chivos. Anyway, yeah, we'll
brings all
Your
the boys to the yard.
Your eligibility points are determined with Chivos.
yes. Anyway,
It's like raising your affection statistic.
yes, definitely. It's
So milkshakes are what bring boys to the yard, but Chivos are what bring girls.
yes.
Apparently so. I mean, wait a second. So does that? I think that everyone should be brought by milkshakes, because milkshakes are delicious, unless they're vegans. Unless you're talking about vegans, in which case it would have to be some other kind of confection of deliciousness that does not contain
Hey, I don't
dairy
know.
products.
Hey, I don't know the logic behind it, man. Ask Khalees.
I think it's probably
also-
been a very long time since anybody asked Khalees anything.
I mean, she did release an album recently-ish.
How do you know that and I don't?
I want to say it came out in
Because-
like 2015.
Yeah, because I follow music reviewers and things.
It was on like Ninja Tune too, wasn't it?
Yeah. it was-
Ninja
yeah.
Tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
They're an electronic music label.
No, I know who they are. I was just surprised.
Speaking of, I actually bought tickets to go see Odessa earlier this week.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
When are you
So
going?
I'm going over Thanksgiving break with my best friend. We're gonna go to Washington
Cool.
D.C. to go see them.
Cool.
Neat.
So that's fun. And then, yeah. As for Khalees, I'm not sure what she's up to either.
Things that I know about Khalees. She, one of her Onion Boyo.
Onion boy.
Onion Boy.
Onion boy.
Onion
Boy Onion.
And of course.
Boy Onion.
And of
Boy
course, Dear Rat Boy.
Yeah. Okay.
Simpsons quote.
He cries.
MP3.
That looks kind of like a duck.
Huh. The ting went quack, 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 and your man's was duckin'.
But, But okay, things I remember about Khalees. One of her songs was remixed by Captain Ahab, who I brought up earlier. And she released an album recently-ish called Food.
Food.
And which is kind of funny given the whole milkshake thing. And yeah, Milkshake, production by the Neptunes.
Yes.
That's about all that I know about her.
I'm pretty sure that acapella, which is one song that she put out in like 2008, 2009-ish, was done by like David Guetta, of all people.
Oh.
I wonder if
And
this is
I
one
actually-
of those cases where like somebody is considered a one-hit wonder, but actually they have like this fruitful career that
Yeah,
goes on
like-
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
See also Gautier, who I miss like dearly.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
big in Australia, right? Or Europe, or
Yeah,
both.
he's really big in Australia because he's from Australia.
Yeah. He played Moog Fest in North Carolina earlier this year, but he was doing like a tribute thing to the inventor of a synthesizer that he like really uses a lot.
Oh, the Moog. Well, the Moog.
The Japanese guy that passed away last year,
Oh.
I think.
I don't know
Maybe?
if it was I don't know if it was a Moog thing specifically, but it was at Moog Fest.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I know it was like some dude that was like really influential on how his like process worked and everything. So like he wanted to do something to pay tribute to him, I guess.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if he's done much in the way of original content since 2012 or so, but he's the type of artist that likes to take his time with his work. So I'm
Yeah.
here for whatever once he comes back.
So,
You know
St.
what?
Vincent's most recent album was quite good. Yes.
You know what's
I
very
liked it.
very funny to me about Gautier, and particularly his one American hit. You guys know the one I'm
Somebody.
talking about. Thank you. I couldn't remember the title for some reason. My stepdad really likes that song, which
Huh.
is ironic for a number of reasons.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like his favorite song for a while, and I don't know why. I don't
The
know.
lack of self-awareness is impressive.
Tony's a fucking idiot, and I'm completely okay with saying that on air. I don't know who this man with purple hair that I drew is, but he's chilling out.
I'm thinking it is more a lady with purple hair and a really big weird mouth.
No, that's a mustache. I should make the
It's a
mustache
mustache.
purple too, I guess.
Can you fill the mustache with purple?
I can try. Here, let me close this up here, and there we go. That was purple. Purple stash. His name is Henry.
Your name is
His name is Henry.
Roland.
Henry
Henry Roland.
Wait a minute, I think that might be taken already.
Henry.
Henry Roland.
No, that's Henry Rollins.
I know. I'm.
No, Rollins.
Making
but
it
Roland,
funny.
actually, I think there is a Henry Roland, and that's if it's spelled Rowland, because my old neighborhood was sort of kind of named after the Roland family, which they made their fortunes selling shovels.
What? Shovels.
Yeah,
So where does
during the Civil War and before that the Revolutionary,
Shovels.
they were basically the least glamorous war profiteers ever.
so they were the
Shovels.
Kelly Rowlands of the war profiteering business?
Oh, that's mean. Well, that's not even true. I mean, there's the other people in Destiny's Child who I can't even name off the top of my head. There's Beyonce at the top of the pyramid and Kelly Rowland below that, and then I don't know the
And
rest.
who?
That's a good question.
Michelle is third tier, and then below that you have Latavia and Latoya, I think, for their names.
That reminds me, I actually own the one Destiny's Child album on tape. I have it around
Which
here.
one?
It's the one. I'm blanking on the name. It's the one they're all like dressed in silver on the cover.
It's
I feel like
What?
there's a
that one
hierarchy.
Pardon?
There's a hierarchy of Destiny's Child.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
I mean, I understand that Beyonce being at the top, but there's a further hierarchy of levels of Destiny's Child.
Kelly Rowland had a couple solo hits.
Okay.
I mean, back in like 2011, 2012, you couldn't go like 5 minutes without hearing Motivation on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of Motivation, oh my god, Captain Ahab keeps coming up again. There's the song Motivation by them from, I think, the end. No, it's not from. Is it from the end of Irony, or is it from After the Rain, My Heart Still. Oh, something. My Heart Still Dreams, I believe.
I don't.
That's the one that is the concept album about teenage girls being awful.
Yeah, that's kind of mean.
Well, no, it's more it's not that teenage girls are awful. It is about specifically like a lot of the characters are in the story are teenage girls
I see.
who are awful. It is a weird album. It also begins with a thing about riding unicorns.
Oh, as
all good electronic albums should open.
there's that what's that guy's name? There's an album from a couple years ago that's got a guy riding a unicorn on the cover, and it was like pretty well acclaimed. DJ Koze, I think.
What?
There's an album from a couple years ago. It's got a guy riding a unicorn on the cover, and it was pretty well acclaimed, I think. And I forget the guy's name. I think it was like DJ Koze or something.
Huh. Yeah, I do not recognize that. But yeah, like the song Motivation is like there are declarations of becoming Satan's bride. It is pretty dope.
As one
Motivation.
Honestly, the other Motivation is just all about sex.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this motivation is also about sex, at least partly, but it also involves, sleeping with Satan to take over the world.
As one does.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing, and it's a disco number. It is a disco number about having the motivation to take over the world.
God. The things you listen to, my dude.
Captain Ahab were really great, and then one of the two guys went on to be in clipping. Because that's what you do.
What?
Yeah.
Huh.
Clipping is Jonathan Snipes of Captain Ahab, William Hudson of Rail.
I mean, I know David Diggs, but...
William Hudson, despite the fact that his music is like the least remotely related to hip-hop, is also the guy who wrote that really, like, intense guide to DJ Screw.
Oh! Huh.
But he makes, like, weird noise ambient on in his other project.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he's an interesting dude.
I, at one point, had DJ Screw's entire discography on my laptop, and that took up so much space, I ended up having to delete it. It was, like, over half of my hard drive.
I can imagine, like, that's, like, how many gigs?
I don't know how many in terms of, like, data, but the guy had, like, 500 mixtapes, and they were all really long.
Whoa.
And that's just the ones that, like, we still have. They were, there's this, like, tiny I don't know if it's like a sub-label or what you would call it, but this thing called Diary of the Originator, and they
Oh yeah, I know about that.
they reissue his tapes, and it was only those. And there's like dozens more that we know that he made, but we don't have anymore, and all this other junk.
Yeah, like...
It's just a lot of music.
He had a really impressive work ethic.
Yeah, well, the thing is, most of them were all made live, like, at parties and stuff.
Oh,
or they were made for, like, for friends or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's that.
Yeah, I remember there's, like, that Hudson talks about, like, how there's one track which, was assembled, or rather, the album was recorded live at somebody's birthday party.
Yeah, there's a couple of those, actually.
Yeah, and it's like, there is a 35-minute posse cut on it.
That's, like, again, once you get past a certain point, like, all of the tapes are like that. That's just, like, how he did things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what this weird penguin man that I'm drawing is doing.
Ah!
Scurry!
Caw. So, last night I spent, I want to say, a good 3 or 4 hours, like between, I want to say, 1 o'clock and 5, just thumbing through the archives of the original version of Diary of Wimpy Kid, which I don't know if you guys were familiar with how it was originally published, but they put it up on this website called Funbrain, like basically in serial format for about a good year or so. And like if you look at it, it's like 1,300 pages.
That's a lot of book.
Yeah, I found myself impressed at like just how much material there was there, because like if you look at the actual remastered versions of the books, which the first 3 or so take a lot of their material from the original webcomic. If you look, they're only about, I want to say, 200 something pages. Like they're not that long.
There is one in my very line of sight right now, and that from here I would guess that is about right.
What color is it?
Red.
So that's probably the first one.
Maybe. My oldest younger brother used to be really into the series. And I there's still a couple of them that are around here.
Low-key, I find myself actually wanting to catch up with it, even though I know that I'm going to be disappointed in the series, like, beyond the point where I stopped.
There's like 40 of them, aren't there? There's a lot, right?
They're coming up on, I want to say, 12 now. It's absurd.
That's too many books. That's like the Warrior Cats books that I used to read. Okay, so
honest, if you ask me, they should have ended after the 4th one.
The Warrior Cats or the Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
Diary, yeah.
Okay, but
I was never into Warrior Cats.
I was for like a good couple of years, and
yeah.
I'm familiar with the original series, of which I think there are 6 or 8 books, and that's just like one set, and then on top of that you've got a bunch of spin-off books, which were like one-offs of various kinds. Then they made a like comic book. Then they started a second series of books, and I read the second series too. I think it was around like the midway point of the second series that I stopped. But I went and I looked maybe a few months ago just to see how many there were now. And
Jane,
yes,
you may be the only non-furry I know who seems to be aware of that series.
I don't know. I like at that age, I would read almost anything, and the library had a ton of them. I think
Yeah.
I just kind of gravitated towards them. There's a bunch of like weird one-off novels that I read at that age that I still have a sort of vague and nostalgic fondness for. I did like Stargirl was one of them. Ruby Electric was another one. Just stuff I don't know if anybody else has ever read ever. Um, a-
Um,
My
as
my book that was like that, like where it's one of my favorites that I don't think anybody else has like even remotely like known about is called Jeremy Fink. Jeremy Fink and the Meaning of Life.
oh,
Like it
I've
was
heard
the
of that
first
one.
time I heard. Really?
Um,
Wow.
I don't know that I don't
That
think
book
I've read it, but I've heard of it.
that book was the first time I had heard the phrase existential crisis at age 13. It was beautiful.
when I was really little, my mom would always pick up like interesting looking kids books. So I wound up reading Tibet Through the Red Box by Peter Cease. Peter Cease is known as an illustrator for various things, but it was a book about his father who it was a picture book, like a children's picture book, but it was about his father going into Tibet and filming what turned out to be the building of the road that the Maoist Chinese used to take over Tibet.
Oh wow. Yikes.
That doesn't seem like something a child should be reading.
It's an intense, weird book, like, because it has a lot. He talks a lot about like the different customs in Tibet that, like, for example, sticking your tongue out means that you are saying that you're telling the truth because, I tell no lies, my tongue is clean. I I am.
That's good. That is very good.
My tongue is clean.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that was like literally what he said, but it's like, but it's the principle of that, my tongue is not forked like a snake's, that sort of thing, It is, I am speaking the truth. And
Yeah, you mean what you say.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other thing was the scene where he actually opens the red box, because it's framed as like him going through, as a child, going through layers of different things, like boxes within boxes. And when he actually opens the red box and all the things that are inside of it, that is one of the trippiest things ever, and I think it defined my aesthetic,
I mean,
overall.
again, this doesn't really sound like something a kid should have been reading.
I mean, but
And
I'm
yet
glad
it
I
sounds
did.
distinctly Sredni.
It does.
Yeah,
Also,
it was-
I read.
Yeah. I think children should read weird stuff that's like not necessarily appropriate per se, but is like things that are like potentially formative and important, if that makes sense.
I guess. I mean, honestly, I don't really have a strong opinion on that kind of thing
Yeah.
because I don't have kids. Hopefully, if I ever do, it won't be for a long time.
Yeah. I might eventually do the offspringing, but
Do
that is
the
a ways off.
offspringing. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, we should wrap it up because the Haruhi stream is in.
So what's the takeaway from this episode of Shapes and Forms? I think we can all agree that I will inevitably be able to bring back any conversation to Captain Ahab. What is your takeaway from this episode, Trey?
My takeaway is that Steak and Shake needs to rethink their cup sizes.
Good takeaway. Okay, Jane, wrap us up with your takeaway.
Look out for fists.
Look out for fists. All right. We have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
The takeaway.
Shapes and forms!
Shapes and Forms!
Good night, y'all.
Bye, everybody. All right.